Hi, Cleveland County. Another show of Cleveland County Kitchen is on its way to you right now. But we're not going to involve a kitchen this time. This is more of an educational show. And who I have here with me is Shane Thompson. And he grows medicinal hemp. He doesn't process it, but he picks it. He picks the flowers, and then he has to take it somewhere to process it. But he's going to tell you all about that process. So Shane, thank you so much for being on the show and being willing to invite us out to your place and serve us coffee that is fabulous.
Absolutely.
French press, no less. So we appreciate that. So, first of all, Shane, tell us about your education and how you got started in growing medicinal hemp.
Oh, well,
You remember you went to UNC Asheville. I learned that. So here we go.
I at the start of the pandemic, I had a big decision to make in terms of career and that sort of thing, and learned that this is what makes me happy. Even though it's not always the most profitable, lucrative business in the world, it is certainly fun. And so I am now here at my family's farm, and I own Merkaba Farm.
Well, that's interesting, Merkaba. Can you give us a history of the name?
So Merkaba is ancient Hebrew or biblical Hebrew, and it loosely translates to chariot. The more modern day translation is vessel. And so that's supposed to be, it's supposed to be my connection with God, my vessel that connects me with God, the farm. And that's sort of where the name originated from.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Good. All right, continue on with education and so forth.
So the pandemic started, and it was, either time to buckle down on a certain career or time to start a new one. And I started going to the farmer's market more and more frequently and saw that there might be an opening for hemp and CBD, and partnered with a man up in Marion. His name's Mr. Henley, Bill Henley. He was one of the first in all of North Carolina to be allowed to grow hemp legally. And he graciously lets me piggyback more or less off of his licensure, and we can grow out here, and I have 60 plants.
Okay. Well, we'll be showing you some of those plants here in just a little bit. But then, as far as education, so you've really self-educated yourself about growing this product.
A lot of it is. There's not exactly a degree in cannabis. There are certain colleges out there now, like Oaksterdam, but that's a little bit different. A lot of it is self-taught, YouTube and that sort of thing. But, a lot of it's experience, where you have to try and utterly fail, and then that teaches you more than you can ever learn from a book.
Well, how I first met you was at the farmer's market, and you had some of the first tomatoes of the season. Am I correct with that?
I did. I planted them early or late April, early May this year, and I had to cover them for the frosts with buckets and stuff and make sure that they stayed warm, but I had some of the first tomatoes this year.
And then, so you haven't been to the farmer's market for a while. I know there was an injury. You injured your back, and you had to quit digging and pulling and all that business.
Well, I had a lot of crops before the injury. I had tomatoes, peppers, all sorts of stuff. And then once the injury occurred, I had to more or less decide which ones were the most important. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that had to go to the wayside. So I have concentrated on hemp since the injury.
And just taking a little peek at what you're growing out in the garden, there are flowers on this hemp plant. Mm-hmm. And can you tell us about the importance of the flowers, say, as opposed to the leaves?
Sure. So the flower is actually what is harvested in this case. Some growers will grow and harvest the entire plant, stalks, leaves, all of it. But it's very hard to be lucrative with that. So we grow and we only pick and harvest essentially the flower. And that way it's much more efficient, and that's the smokable hemp that we refer to. And that's also what we process down into crude oil. That becomes the tincture.
Ah, okay. Now, I believe you said you don't process here.
No, So you just like growing, you have to have a license to process, and so there's only X amount of processors within the state. Mhm.
So when, well, we'll be interviewing the Broad River Hemp Company in downtown Shelby, the owners, and they will talk about where they get their products. But you're the provider of what they get.
Some, absolutely. So I'm a local farmer, just like a lot of the local farmers around here, but I'm specifically growing hemp. And companies like the French Broad, which are terrific companies, they do grow some of their own product, and they also import some of their own product from out of state, which is fine as well. But I do, I grow everything here, and everything I sell is grown here.
To the plants, again, we saw, and some are this tall, and if you pick the flowers, will this grow again, or?
Hypothetically could. If you can only, there is the option of only harvesting part of the plant, and to where it's almost pruning the plant, causing it to grow much, much more. That's not legally possible right now. The state requires you, when you harvest, to kill the plant.
Oh, fascinating. Yes. Is there a reason for that?
They don't want high levels of THC. That is what's highly regulated. That is what is illegal, federally at least.
So, in other words, the older the plant, the more it will continue producing this chemical.
Yes. So while THC occurs in every cannabis plant essentially, in hemp it is in such low levels to where it doesn't affect you. If you leave the plant in the ground long enough, though, or growing for long enough, it can reach levels of THC that are considered illegal. However, those levels are still very, very low.
Fascinating. Yes, yes. Now, for you as a grower, you work under Bill's licensure, is that correct?
That's correct.
So, do state officials go to his garden and where he grows it, and do they come down here?
Yes. So, he's the one who does most of the involvement there. He's the one who does most of the communication. But I have met officials who come out here, and they'll take parts of the plant with them back and test it all, make sure. The only thing they're really testing for in that situation is to make sure that the THC levels don't get too high, and therefore becomes a true blue cannabis plant, what we would call marijuana.
Okay, okay. All right. So, if you were to make brownies, would you put the flour in the brownies? And I'm hypothetical here, but
If it's real old school, maybe. Today's edible making, you strain all the flour when you're cooking it with the oil, so that way the oil absorbs all of the chemicals that you want to absorb, whether it be CBD, THC, or whatever it is, and then you take that flour out, that solid material out,
Okay.
while leaving the chemicals in the oil and cooking with said oil.
okay, well that makes sense. What kind of oil would you use to heat up?
You can use any. Vegetable oil is usually a go-to. Coconut oil is often a favorite, a lot healthier. Not a lot healthier, but semi-healthier. Olive oil can work too, and even butter has the property to where it can strip the plant of its chemicals.
Fascinating. I hope you all are learning lots about this. So, do you take your product up to Bill, and then Bill does something with it?
Yes. So in about a week or so, we will completely harvest. We've harvested some already, but we will go ahead and harvest the rest of the crop, and we will go up towards Marion and Hickory, and the processing will occur up there.
Okay.
But about half, or maybe a little bit less than half, of this year's yield will stay flour, and we will put it in the grow room / cure room, what I've dubbed the jungle room in honor of Elvis, and that will be where the plant matures, and then I can sell the flour from there.
Well, you mentioned sell. Who's your market? Where do you sell?
Farmers market's an option. And so there's lots of different places around that sell cannabis now, whether or not it's your local bookstore or your local coffee shop.
Right.
You find CBD cookies and things like that.
Okay.
So it's very, very similar.
Well, as far as the products that come, can you address any of that?
So CBD is used for a wider range of reasons. Some use it for a sleep aid, some use it for pain relief, but it does affect everybody differently. It is still a drug. Almost everything's a drug. So you have to take, everything with a grain of salt when you're doing something like that. Uh, Another compound that's been explored here recently and much more sought after is CBG. And so it's very low levels of occurrence in the plant where you can get CBD levels of 20%, THC levels of 20% and higher. You're lucky if you have 1% of CBG levels. And the CBG is actually a compound that has loosely been proven to stop cancer cells from growing.
Wow.
Yes.
I hope you heard that, folks. Well, listen, thank you so much for watching this part of the show, the farmer part. So stay tuned. There'll be a break, and then we'll move to the next.
I've seen too many women with breast cancer who could have avoided extensive treatment or even death had they gotten an annual mammogram. If you are 40 or older, get a mammogram every year. To find an accredited center, visit mammographysaveslives.org.
Listen up. Do you have a passion for cooking? A desire to learn more about the craft of professional food preparation? If so, now's a great time to check out Cleveland Community College's brand new Culinary Arts Academy. This exciting 3-month program offers hands-on training for jobs in the food service industry. Across the nation, food service is one of the fastest growing industries. With your training at CCC's Culinary Arts Academy, you can compete for jobs in hotels, restaurants, conference centers, cruise ships, and other settings. Enroll in CCC's program and you'll gain in-depth training in food procedures, preparation, and commercial kitchen operations. Plus, the program includes a special add-on. You'll get your certificate in cardiopulmonary resuscitation or CPR training. You can earn good money too. Depending on where you work, starting salaries range from $20,000 to $50,000. In just 12 weeks, you can be well on your way to gaining the know-how to handle food safely, properly, as a true professional. Now ask yourself, are you ready to start your journey today at CCC?
Cleveland Community College has identified strengthening online learning as the topic for its quality enhancement plan. We're calling it SOUL. SOUL's 5-year implementation plan is focused on continuous improvement of online courses and promoting student success. We're excited for you to take this journey with us.
Well, welcome back, Cleveland County. We've gone from the farm to now a store, which is here in Shelby. I want to introduce these two people. This is Josh and Scotty, thank you, sorry, Biddix, and they are the owners of the Broad River Hemp store, or Broad River Company?
Yeah, Broad River Hemp.
Hemp Company, thank you. And of course, this is where our products that are sold that are made out of the product that we saw growing in the field. So Josh, you want to tell us a little bit about what you can expect people when they come in here to be able to buy?
Well, with us and our store model, we focused on the local North Carolina market. So, because we farm as well and grow hemp, so we were targeting, focusing on local North Carolina farmers and carrying their products. So, when you come in, hemp right now is, it's all about the CBD, just because the infrastructure is not there for fiber yet.
Okay. Oh, yes, of course, sure.
Yeah, fiber will be huge when we get there.
Well, may I interrupt? I saw there's some T-shirts over here in the corner that Scotty said it was hemp and organic.
Organic cotton. That's actually the one she's wearing. It's the same thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it felt so soft. So yeah.
But there's a lot coming with fiber that's going to be plastics, metal combinations, that type stuff.
Oh my goodness.
So the big thing with the plastics is just catching up with the infrastructure. Like Legos has committed to, by 2030, every Lego will be made from hemp plastic.
My
Yeah.
heavens.
The market's developing, it just takes time.
Right, right,
Um,
right. Well, and that's probably because it wasn't legalized to grow it, right?
Yeah.
So, but once it
With the
has been,
prohibition.
then all the entrepreneurs are thinking, now what can we do with this product?
Yep. Developing different technologies and, the lab stuff that the crazy mad scientists do.
Right, right,
Um, But yeah, eventually you're going to see a lot of hemp plastics and that type of stuff. Even hemp wood, like you can get some of that stuff now, but it's so expensive that it's just not feasible at this point. I would imagine though when it finally pans out, in probably 10 years from now, it's going to be very affordable. You'll probably see wood and that type of stuff made from hemp at Lowe's and places
Wow.
like that. So
Well, now, would that mean that it would increase more farming of the hemp product?
yeah, definitely for fiber. And fiber's totally different than growing for CBD. Different genetic, different planting, spacing, that type of stuff.
Oh, okay.
So, once that's here, it's probably going to be similar to, any other commodity crop, or, large scale crop to produce fiber. So,
Okay. Well, Scotty, let me turn to you. You mentioned skin products, so I'm sure our audience will be very interested in that.
Yeah, that's actually one of our best sellers. We've got a full face line. Comes with a scrub, a blemish cream, a face lotion, as well as a serum. And it's made by the ladies at Queen Hemp in Charlotte. And I've actually had a local esthetician review it, and she personally uses the scrub now daily. She uses the whole line every day. It's helped a lot of our nursing people with all the COVID masks and the breakouts and things like that.
Sure.
So there's a lot of the nurses that are using that now to help kind of clear that up and fix that skin that's been damaged from wearing N95s for 12-hour shifts. But it's a real earthy, it's very organic. It doesn't have any kind of crazy harsh smells or chemicals or anything like that in it. It's just all around just great product.
Right. And and that's displayed somewhere.
Yeah, we've got it here on the shelf.
Oh, okay. I see it. Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe we can show some shots of that. So that'll be good.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. And anything else that you can think of? I know you do sell other people's products, like you have elderberry syrup, and I know you have Jamie Swafford's Old North Scrub,
Yep.
which is a tea.
It's it's a fermented kind of tea.
Right.
A lot of people use it for like mixers for drinks and things like that too.
Okay.
But it's made from apple cider vinegar.
Oh, yeah, right.
So it's got a lot
right.
of good health benefits for it as well. And then we have local handmade soaps. Most of those have some kind of goat's milk, or we even have some vegan ones occasionally as
Okay.
well. And then local artists sell their products in here. A couple different ones. We've got some crocheted items and some jewelry, and as well as handmade pipes.
So in other words, this is a very interesting store to come into and see what you have.
Right.
And maybe learn a little bit more about the hemp product.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, great. All right, Josh, anything else you'd like to say?
well, I don't think we got into, the final product that's coming from hemp right now is your CBD stuff.
And thank you for that. Absolutely.
We kind of got sidetracked there.
Sure.
But your CBD products, of course, that's the main thing that's coming from hemp right now. And I think we talked about it earlier. The outdoor stuff in North Carolina is just, especially in our region or off the mountain, the humidity, that type of stuff. It's not easy.
Not easy to grow the hemp product.
Near as easy as people would think it is. So a lot of the stuff is going to indoor or Nexus style blackout greenhouses to get the quality.
Okay.
And once the farm's done with it, they get the extraction. They have their product line, such as CBD oils.
Well, now, I want to ask about the extraction. Do they do it there on the farm?
No, not typically.
Okay.
It's kind of another step in the process. It's very detailed. most of them use a couple different local extractors in North Carolina.
Okay.
But essentially, when you take that flower, you're extracting everything out of that, the cannabinoids, terpenes, all that, breaking it down to a crude, and then mixing it with the carrier oil. So you're getting everything that's like out of that flower on the shelves
Okay.
into an oil,
Okay.
and that's basically what CBD oil is.
All
And
right.
that's where you're trying to get the health benefits for your endocannabinoid system, where you're targeting, you know, the pain, chronic pain, arthritic style pain,
Right.
and your
right,
sleep.
Right. Right.
So just kind of like what Greg was talking about, helping with the sleep and that type of stuff. And you're also getting now with CBG, there's a CBG genetic,
Okay.
which is showing a lot with inflammation properties. And the science is so new, it's just kind of coming around. So a lot of this is, you know, very front end of it because it's been prohibited for so long. But prior to prohibition, I mean, it was a common use
Sure. Well,
supplement around the
yeah,
around the
yeah.
homes.
The great great grandparents knew that it was very effective.
Yeah, it's just like turmeric or, you know, your ginger roots, that type of stuff. It's just a
Right.
good supplement. And now the Delta 8 stuff is coming around, where people are absolutely loving it for pain. And the science that we're seeing behind it is Delta 8 is actually one of the main cannabinoids that attacks, you know, some of the pain receptors or helps relieve that.
Sure.
And I've noticed that if I've been out, you know, especially riding a tractor or something, like I've got a lot of back problems, and I can, you know, take Delta 8 and 30 minutes later I'm like, wow, you know,
You're
not really
better.
hurting.
You're
Yeah.
better. Is this only oral? I'm assuming it's oral and topical. There's no injection of this, is there?
No. It's all oral. You've got your oil that goes under your tongue, just by dropper. Then you've got
Okay.
edibles such as gummies and chocolates. Gummies are big sellers, and then we've got actual flour for people that prefer to smoke or cook with it.
Okay.
You know, and all cooking is just going through decarboxylation, getting your CBD compounds.
Decarboxylation. That's
Yeah,
a good word.
it's taking your acids and, you know, basically combining that to get a stronger content
Okay.
and get it to where your body will process it. And then it's the same thing if you're smoking it. It's, you know, the heat's decarboxylized and you're inhaling, going through your lungs. It's just different delivery methods.
Gotcha.
And, you know, a lot of people are against smoking, and that's kind of a, you know, your personal preference.
Right. But it basically does however you get it into your body, it basically does the same thing.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, it does.
All right. Well, that's good. All right. Well, listen, folks, we're just happy to be here. This is just a bright, beautiful store. You've got pretty green walls and all the sunlight coming in. So come in just to see what they've got. So thank you all for watching. Remember, we'll see you next month with another farm-grown product. So happy week, happy month.
Between your job, your family, and other demands on your time, life can get pretty hectic. So we want you to take time for yourself. Hi, I'm Jennifer Harrell, and I want you to join me for your health. Each month, the Cleveland County Health Department and C19 TV will explore topics that affect you and your family's health. We'll discuss the importance of exercise, a healthy diet, and regular health screenings and checkups. From fitness tips to warning signs to the latest healthcare news. For Your Health will help keep you in shape and up to date in Cleveland County. We want you to be your best, so join us each month for Your Health, right here on Spectrum Cable and online, c19.tv.
Hi, I'm Tim Foster from C19 TV.
I'm Rob Root from KTCBroadcasting.com.
And I'm Fulvio Brooks from C19 TV Sports.
Join us for Armchair Quarterback, what's in store on the gridiron in 2021. Cleveland County High School football fans are excited about getting back to a full season, and we will be here to break it all down. Every week we look at all 4 Cleveland County High School football teams. Conference foes Burns and Shelby, and conference foes Crest and Kings Mountain. We will look at what happened the week before and look ahead at what's coming up this week.
We'll also do the NFL and the Carolina Panthers.
Nobody covers Cleveland County football like Armchair Quarterback. Don't miss another great season right here on C19 TV.
Hi, I'm Steve Putnam, and I'd like to invite you to join me for the next Talk of the Town. Each week I get to meet with some of the most interesting people in Cleveland County. And each show is packed with information you need to know to stay connected to our community. From promoting upcoming events to discussing local subjects that impact you, Talk of the Town has a little something for everyone. Plus, we're on every day, so it's easy to catch up with us. That's Talk of the Town, every day, every week, right here on C19 TV, Cleveland County's channel.
If you vape, you could be inhaling toxic metals into your lungs. To show how scary that is, we made Metal Monster. With special effects that show metal particles being inhaled. And music that would have made your heart race. But nothing is as scary as the facts. Vaping can deliver toxic metals like nickel and lead into your lungs. That's metal in your lungs.
Tail sleep.
What's up, guys? Luke Combs here. North Carolina has a major problem with litter on our roadways. We all have to do our part to clean up this mess. And just remember, trash belongs in a can, not on our roads. Don't trash North Carolina.
Today, the heroes that fight day in and day out on the front lines. Those who are there, innovating in real time, saving lives and answering the call to care in times of crisis. American nurses. Nurses who have been there for each and every one of us in times of crisis for more than 150 years. Nurses are the pillar of strength and the foundation of healthcare and life itself. Nurses are there the day we are born. They are there when your family is in crisis, and they are there in the end. In confronting the most catastrophic health crisis in modern history, we must remember our American nurse heroes need our support as much as we need them. To show our gratitude for their courage and ensure they receive the critical education and support services they need, donate to the Coronavirus Response Fund for Nurses today, in honor of your American nurse hero.
Hi, I'm Tim Foster from C19 TV Sports. Join us each month for Yeti Tracks right here on C19 TV. Each month we talk to the players and the coaches of Yeti Athletics, including cross country, Yeti's boys baseball, and Yeti's girls softball. We break down the matchups, the conferences, the games, and the events that make Yeti sports so special. Stay informed with Yeti Athletics right here on Yeti Tracks each month. Join us right here on C19 TV and online at C19.tv.